All right. Hello again, Avengers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tears of the Realms. Yes, this is our homebrew Cypher System powered Legend of Zelda themed tabletop RPG set in our own weird version of the Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom flavor of Hyrule, and the people below me are all people that have had a hell of a week.
Yep.
We're all people who are in California.
We're all people
Yeah,
who
you
are in
are.
California.
I
Only
just
half of
realized.
us have had a really wild week.
Well, I think everybody's had kind of a wild week. Just some people, their week was significantly more wild than most.
And
Right.
smokier.
So, thank you, phone. To talk about the elephant in the room, obviously California is going through some incredibly, remarkably unprecedented, even when you take into account how California works, disasters. And all of our hearts could go out to everyone that's dealing with that. I think quite a few of us know people that have been directly affected, that have been indirectly affected. Obviously, we all want to help as much as we can. If you do have the ability to help in any way, the Red Cross is currently on boots on the ground in the LA area. That all this stuff is happening, and they're doing a bunch of different things. You can donate directly to them. There are a bunch of other places that if you have additional money, which, fun fact about the world, and specifically the U.S. economy, January, it's not the time to ask for donations. It's also when most businesses tend to see a slump in their sales. This is not a great time for money in general. So if you do have a little bit of excess, there are great ways to put it into a good effect. And if you don't, that's how it goes. And yeah, I know it really sucks when you feel powerless in stuff like this. But yeah, Imp has mentioned another thing. Doing things like donating blood and plasma during disasters is a fantastic thing. As far as I've been able to tell,
Or just all the time, not just in disasters.
well, yeah, but as far as I've been able to tell, as far as a loss of life in this particular instance, property damage has been insane. People are losing everything, but the actual loss of lives have been relatively low. So that's nice.
Kind of crazy for how big it is. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
So things like that are wonderful, and it does go to show just how well the first responders and stuff are doing things like preemptively getting people out of areas where places are dangerous and being able to save people. So that's absolutely wonderful, but being able to help them with things like blood and plasma donations, especially if you can not afford, but if you can take doing plasma donations, they are significantly more intense than just doing blood, but they do a lot. It's a really, really big deal. So doing that, if you live in the greater LA area, there are a lot of places that are doing that are having physical volunteers come in. They're doing everything from handing out food, dealing with shelter, because shelter is becoming a very, very big deal right now. So if you can help, do. If you can't, understand that not everybody can help, and that's perfectly okay. Simply, telling people that you care and that you're thinking about them can be a really, really big deal in times of crisis like this. So help where you can. Don't beat yourself up if you can't. This is, again, unprecedented. So there's a quote from Mr. Rogers that I always think about when stuff like this happens. I don't remember what the exact conversation was about, but they were talking about disasters and things like that, and he brought up, look for the helpers. whenever anything like this something happens, there's always helpers. Look for the helpers. And we have seen the helpers are coming out in spades in the LA area. So, yeah. That being said,
Love Mr. Rogers.
yeah, we.
Mr.
He was a
Rogers
gem.
never missed.
He was a gem.
Yeah.
Some of those jacket colors, questionable.
However,
They were all made by his mother, by the way.
Oh, that's
Never
cute.
mind, they're all fantastic.
Wow, the
One of my-
backpedal immediately.
One of my favorite anecdotes about Mr. Rogers was the fact that he was notoriously difficult to interview because he was genuinely very interested in other people. And so when people would try to interview him, he would always start going, really? So, what do you do? That's really fascinating. I think that's a really amazing job. And he would interview the people trying to interview him just because that's naturally who he was.
yeah, it's really good. He also has there's a book out about his life story, and it's just like it's a good book. Highly recommend. If you guys don't know who Mr. Rogers,
I've seen a few
good human being.
I've seen a few UK YouTubers and stuff like that, like doing reactions to Mr. Rogers, and they're always like, "Oh, this guy was amazing. I wish we had something like Mr. Rogers here."
There's
So-
also
Start doing
a,
reruns for kids these days.
there's also a really good movie called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood that Tom Hanks is in.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
also
I was meaning to watch that, never got around to it.
it's
good.
so good. It's if you've never seen Mr. Rogers, and it's very good. One of the things I remember from Mr. Rogers was he brought on Margaret Hamilton
Yeah.
to show kids, and it's been making rounds again because of Wicked, because a lot of kids rightfully so we're scared of the Wicked Witch of the West and Wizard of Oz, and getting to talk to Margaret Hamilton and all of that stuff, it meant a lot to a lot of people. Mr. Rogers was a champion for a lot of progressive values as well. It's like we need more people like to embody the Mr. Rogers in the world, and I think I'm high, and those people will make giant impacts. So if you haven't seen it, do.
There was also like he had a degree in education and stuff like that, and all this stuff. Like, another really fascinating thing, if you've ever watched Mr. Rogers and you notice his speech pattern seems kind of awkward, it's because they've done studies and they found that his target audience, which is I think like 3 to 5 year olds or really, really young kids, they have the highest retention rate at, I want to say it was like 90 words per. It was slower than the average person speaks. And so he manually forced himself to speak at a lower word per minute range because it increases retention. Like
It's the
that's.
same thing.
Go ahead.
So it's the same thing with like motherese or parentese. It used to be called motherese, now it's parentese. Where like when you're interacting with little kids, bonjour. Oh, that's not Sophie. Just kidding. Hi, Calcifer. When you're interacting with like infants and like toddlers, how we go, it's a red car, where we all like emphasize certain keywords with our voices, and we do it naturally. Most of us do it naturally, but it improves language acquisition, especially for and vocabulary acquisition for like keywords, and then it also goes into like those determiners and prepositions, and so yes, speech patterns. Very cool things.
Fun fact, early childhood development has been studied like crazy in a bunch of different fields, and the information is out there if you want to be better at educating young kids.
And
So,
if you need resources, let me know. I've got resources.
yeah. Anyway, let's talk about announcements involving tabletop RPGs and stuff like that. Do we have any ZU announcements real quick?
We've got a couple new things on our website currently. We redid our English dub of Ocarina of Time, did some new stuff with it. That has been coming out over the last couple weeks. I will say in the world of Zelda Land, the most really exciting one is on Thursday. Future Game Show did a video where Patricia Somerset, the voice of Zelda, sat down and got interviewed by Neil Newbon, who plays Astarion. And it is a brilliant video. So go check that out. It's very cool. Patricia Somerset is a wonderful person and a friend of art, and I guess friend mutual. We've had them on the website on our YouTube channel before, talking about stuff with Zelda. We've had the voice cast of Breath of the Wild on the YouTube channel before, and they're very cool. So go watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
also
very cool
mention,
stuff.
just because I happen to know this, that there's a lot of ways you can help out with Zelda Universe if you want. They just posted a bunch of volunteer positions on social media. So if that's ever been of interest to you, feel free to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are looking for people in content. We're looking for people in social. We're looking for
Everywhere, I think.
for pretty much everywhere.
I get an email like every hour on that.
Yeah, yeah, we've been getting a lot of them, and this is
Wait, Elias, they're asking you to volunteer? Do they know that? Never mind. Sorry.
No, I get the volunteer applications in my email. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
They forward to me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just
Yeah, I get them
this
as well.
I don't need this.
yeah. So it's very good. So if you'd like to do stuff with us, feel free to email us, and we will reach out once we go through things and all that. So
Oh man, Jody fixed it to where I'm not Zerai anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted it to be Motto.
I mean, you could.
Checks came online first,
Bring your
and I
Rito
didn't catch
voice.
Huh?
it. Anyway, so yeah, cool
Hello,
stuff there.
I'm really the bad guy here. I
Hello.
would like to psychologically torture you as soon as possible.
Look,
Alright,
I'm
yeah.
What?
Oh, and that bitch classic movies, American movies. Oh, unintentional. And yet so true.
So yeah, cool stuff happening at ZU. As someone who has volunteered for ZU for, wow, I just realized,
this is 8 years, Jody.
yeah, 8 years. Been doing this for almost a decade, folks.
I've been at ZU this is 12 years, I think, for me.
So yeah, as someone who's been doing this for a little while, it's fun. It gets
Question
weird
mark?
every so often, but
That was so
I don't like to
fun.
hesitate. Why did you hesitate?
Hey, nobody listen to Jody.
Why did you hesitate?
No,
that
these
was way
are,
too long of a pause.
I've met some incredibly amazing people here. It has been an absolute blast the entire time I've been involved, and I actually have been able to get involved in some extra stuff. I got to get involved in the podcast. I get to do reactions with these guys when there's like big Nintendo Directs and stuff like that. It really is a ton of fun. So,
And with Switch 2 stuff on the horizon at some point in time, which honestly I'm ready for it to be announced so people can move on to other things, because I feel like I've heard about Switch 2 for like 8 years.
because
Yeah, but
it's
6
been
months
getting
after
announced.
Switch 2, they're just going to start the Switch 3 rumors. So
Yeah. The Switch 2 Pro.
Well,
We have to
can
get
I-
Switch 2 Pro first.
Elias, let me believe. I know there's not much to believe, but like I just had to deal with people talking about the 50 series RTX cards. Let me believe that once something is done, people can just start moving on.
always going to be something. Then move on to something
No.
else. is
I
what
don't
they
want
do.
it. I hate it.
So,
Stop.
in tabletop RPG news, trying to think if there's anything really big happening in TTRPGs. There's a bunch of different bundles. Like right now in Humble Bundle, we for anyone who doesn't know and didn't listen to my intro, We use a system called the Cipher system for this particular RPG. Right now, Monty Cook has a bundle on Humble Bundle for their TTRPG called Inside Sun. You can basically get almost the whole system, like the core book and then a bunch of extras and stuff for like $18. And it is technically related to the Cipher system. It is its own TTRPG, and I learned that as soon as I started looking through the core books, which are split into 5 different books.
Oh.
Because, but yeah, that's a thing. And then I think Bundle of Holding still has their Fabula Ultima bundle for a little bit longer. Fabula Ultima is another TTRPG. Chax was kind enough last year to play in my little Fabula Ultima mini campaign.
Very fun.
It was super fun. She created a character that was impossible to hit. Used a pair of shields.
Was the bad guy.
And Imp has suggested that if we get 10,000 subscribers, I'll run a GURPS game. And that's never happening.
God,
Ever.
are you insane?
I want
That's
to play,
too insane.
I want to play an evil one shot, but make Chax and or Ilea play good characters.
I mean, why when you can play good
Arel
characters that are
wasn't
accidentally
bad.
evil?
Arel wasn't evil.
Arel, okay.
She wasn't
Arel
bad.
just
She was
misguided.
just bad.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if we're not calling Zolta evil, I don't think we can throw Arel under the
At
bus.
some point, I would love to do a Never Stop Blowing Up one shot, which is
That would
using
be
the, which for those who don't know, Never Stop Blowing Up is a hack on kids
Arel
on
was
bikes.
naughty.
Oh.
Wait,
That-
what?
Yeah, never
Something
stop.
called "Don't Stop Blowing Up" is connected to something called "Kids on Bikes."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with Kids on Bikes?
Why are we
Elias?
blowing up these children?
No, Dimension
Oh,
20
Kids on
made.
Bikes. Okay.
Yes.
Kids on
series.
Bikes is like a Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids on
TTRPG.
Bikes is a TTRPG that Honduras Entertainment does. Kolok, which was created by Hyper RPG, used Kids on Bikes first edition. The second edition came out recently. It's very good. I've backed it. It's very, very good. They used it for Dimension 20 Misfits and Magic. Never Stop, and also for Mentopolis, they did a little bit of a hack for both of it. And in their new season, one of the more recent seasons called Never Stop Blowing Up, they made a full-on hack of second edition Kids on Bikes that is specific to what they needed, that changes a bunch of the rules, and Dropout has it on their store for free.
Yeah. And if you're wondering why it's Never Stop Blowing Up, the entire season was meant to be kind of a parody of old 80s action flicks.
And every time you hit the highest die, it would go up to the next die, and then it would permanently stay that die for that stat.
It's a cool thing. I mean, it's Brennan Lee Mulligan. Like, the stuff that he makes is weird, but awesome. Like,
Yeah, it's Brennan. I love Brennan.
it's how it works. If you want to have a hilarious experience, watch the CEO videos that he did for, I think it was...
Oh, for
was it
Dropout.
College
It's still for
Humor?
It's still Dropout. Yeah.
Oh.
They're
they're
early.
amazing.
They're early Dropout when it was still considered college humor.
Yeah. There's one where he's talking about being the CEO of Oreos, and he just, the kind of tagline of the whole thing is like, we did it, guys. We did it. We made the best cookie in the world. We
work really
can
hard.
Just sit back.
Don't. It's very good. Highly recommend.
So anyway, cool stuff going on there. Yeah, other than that, I think it's time for us to return to Tears of the Realms. The Tearwalkers have faced some adversity. after returning to the Tears Corps to fill in Kess and the remaining of the Tears Corps members on the various things that have been discovered about the Etsu Korimalan invasion of Hateno, the Tearwalkers had an idea. They wanted to investigate the crystal that all of their Tearwalking gems came from. But when they arrived at the room, they were stopped by a pair of guards.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Despite being the Tearwalkers, they were prevented from entering without permission, apparently under the orders of Kess herself. When they contacted Kess, she seemed completely oblivious to ever making these orders, and the new captain of the guards for the Tears Corps came in and revealed that he had given the orders in her name.
Oh,
After having a discussion.
it's like you played it right.
Damn.
Say what you will about me, I understand your characters relatively well.
Wait, what?
After having a bit
Did
of
I
power,
just say liar?
having a bit of a power struggle, Kess was able to rein in the authority of the new captain of the guards for the Tears Corps, and quickly and quietly mentioned to Zariah that she needed to meet with Zariah in a special place known to them. The Tear Walkers went back to their dorm rooms to discuss exactly what was going on, and then went to the secret area to have a meeting with Kess. This is the same area that, when Kess was very young, was one of her first routes of exploration, which eventually turned her into one of the heroes of the realms, and the location where Arel received her shadow powers. When the Tearwalkers arrived, though, they were surprised. Kess was there, but so were Aruna, Pierre, Zulta, and Arel. And that is where we return.
Dun dun dun. Dun.
So, really, do I not have...
Tears of the Realms.
I didn't turn mean girl up. I've got more authority.
Um. Oh, so she's the same amount of mean girl. She just has more power now.
Yes. Jody has this really bad habit of giving Zariah power, authority over others.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Oh dear, dear, dear.
Yep. But don't worry, you have it too.
So, one thing I forgot to mention in the recap. Before you guys went to this meeting, Zariah specifically tried to reach out. I just realized I should probably do that. Zariah attempted to reach out to Arel through the shadows, and for the first time ever, could not find her in the Shadow Realm in any way, shape, or form.
That's not good.
Yeah, no kidding.
Concern.
So, sorry, I'm just looking for...
Excuse me, I have a concern. It is big.
Big enough that it took Elias, Elia, and myself out of our alley.
Oh, you
Yeah.
guys find
Wow.
another alley? You found another alley? I'm so proud of you.
I think it was more
Yeah.
like a living room, but yeah.
No,
Technically-
there's always an alley. It's always an
Yeah.
alley.
You open two doors. It is the
Anytime it's the three of us, no matter where we are in game, where we start having conversations, like, wait, we can't talk here, and then we have to find the nearest alley. And be like, okay.
There are laws. I think that makes sense. There are
Also,
laws.
Kiri missed the conversation about us talking about men licking dentist fingers. So
Oh yes.
What?
God, I forgot about that.
I'm sorry. Pause.
Why would you bring that up again?
Imp,
Hey, Jody. What?
Imp,
Let me explain.
if you would be kind
Oh,
enough,
you better.
Uncomfortable with the energy.
I kid you
We,
not.
it's all Jody.
Imp emailed me and said, "Hey, by the way, I wanted to wait until the episode was up, but I clipped all the conversation you guys had
Oh my God.
about." So, Imp, if you'd like to share links to the clips of me absolutely dying every
I'm-
time
Yeah, wait.
somebody mentioned it,
Links
I'm-
or licks to the clips?
I don't know.
Ban him.
I'm scared to find out whatever the hell this is.
The
No,
basics-
it's really interesting. Basically, according to dentists on Reddit, men are more likely to like lick their fingers when they're working in their mouths.
Oh, so like it's that impulse of like not attempting to actually lick them. It's more of like the uncomfortable moving of the tongue.
No, it's like licking their finger. Like because do you know? Okay, so in the SLP world, we say the tongue is a curious beast. Because if there's something abnormal in your mouth, your tongue tends to like worry it. Like if you have popcorn stuck in your teeth or something, so your
Yeah.
tongue will always do that. And so yes, it's that touching because women do that too, but men will do it to the extent where they're actually like stroking and like
Oh, that's
wrapping. Yeah. So
I-
it's weird.
What the?
I
Wow.
feel like whenever the
Sorry,
dentist
men.
is like in there, I hurt my tongue trying to like get away from it because I'm like, no, there's something in my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ah.
It's a glove. It tastes
That's
nasty.
usually like you're actually making it harder. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
I-
I just
This is wild.
So anyway, if you want to watch
Oh,
me
Jody was
absolutely
dying the
lose
entire
myself,
It was
there's a
awesome.
bunch of links. There's a bunch of links.
Why
Of
is the
clips.
first thing I think of just Gail being like, "Stop licking the damn thing"?
because tongues are curious beasts. Have we? This is a great line. I love it.
Why are
Thank
you
so much.
trying to defend it?
No. I think it's really cool. Have we talked about how you can look at any object and your tongue knows what the texture is?
Really?
Oh.
Because of how we learn as a kid.
Yeah.
Is, like usually putting things in your mouth. So
Yeah.
even as an adult, you can literally look at any object and your brain will go, yeah, I know exactly what that would feel like if I not necessarily the taste, but you know what the texture is.
Yeah.
Have that go forth with that curse knowledge because for like a full week I could not stop thinking about that and it was just there would be moments I go, I would just look
Okay.
at something and go,
Wow. Thanks.
you're welcome.
I love that.
So
It's so cool. Jax gets it.
That makes
the amount of weird
We're
stuff
soul
that our
friends,
body
but-
does that people don't realize our body does and our brain does is phenomenal.
that makes perfect sense. Like
Right? It's fascinating.
just the exploratory as well as the tactile stimulation for learning experiences, which is
Right? Oh. Bodies are cool. Anyway, we should probably
Bodies are
play because I know we have to lose our lovely
Yeah.
lovely boy.
At this rate, we're going to have enough time for just a conversation in this case.
We're talking about
Okay.
tongue science, Elias. It's fascinating.
Sorry,
It
I was
is.
busy dissociating with my cell phone.
Haven't you done that enough this week? Isn't that just more
After that,
Yeah,
not
like-
enough.
fair enough? We were joking that being on the Watch Duty app and like zooming in and out is now the new doom scrolling for LA of just how close are we?
Here, hang on. I just realized Nightbot did my job for me and banned down.
Oh no!
nice.
We love
Well
you,
done,
Em.
bot.
So,
We want you to share this so that you could be banned.
so, you all again have kind of descended into this cavern that Kess has intentionally kind of not told anyone about. And I'll let Zura. I'll let you decide whether or not Arel has taken you here as part of your
Yes.
training, and whether or
Yeah.
not Kess is aware of that.
No.
Okay. But
Kess
Kess is
didn't know about the whole shadowy bit.
yeah. But Kess is did take you here at least once as part of just being a mom and going, hey, this is where I got my start of
So
tomb
this is
raiding.
where I started doing naughty things. No.
That's a
Not
weird
like that.
conversation to have with your
Weird,
kid.
that's what Antriel said as well.
Don't tell your other mother. No. I'm in a weird place, y'all. Okay.
That's good.
Kess and Arel are showing them, well, this is where that's Zilta is showing them, well, this is the first creature I learned how to drain the life out of.
Aw, that's sweet.
And Arel's like, hi.
So, as you guys all go through this kind of labyrinthian old Sheikah ruin, you eventually get to the central chamber where the original device that gave Arel her powers used to be contained. And again, you look around and you can see, instead of just Kess being there, you see Aruna, you see Zaraya, you see
Aruna.
Sulta.
Arel.
Mariah. Yes, and Sulta. Sorry.
And Kokomo, and Arel.
I think after 50 years of doing this stream, we'll have enough of our characters to where we can do like a version of the Pokemon rap, but just listing our characters.
I love it. Done.
Iruna Zaraya. I've already forgotten the rest of the names.
Pierre, hello?
Yeah.
How dare
Pierre's
you?
not there.
So, as you guys all enter the room, you can see, like, it's pretty obvious that they've been having a conversation before you got here. And another thing that I think Zaraya would probably be, maybe not the only one, but definitely the first to notice, is while everyone else is kind of, up and talking, Zaraya, or not Zaraya, let's try this again, Arel, has been sitting on a Sissa stone, and even in the kind of pale light that you guys have from the torches and things that they've lit in here, Zaraya, you notice that Arel looks a little bit paler than you remember her last time. What would you all like to do?
Go up to Antriel.
Okay. Hey, kiddo.
Are you alright? What's going on?
I'm amazing.
No, you're
I'm
not.
wonderful.
Damn.
Yes, you are, but not. What? Let me phrase this in a way that Arel would understand.
Picking our
Lord.
words carefully.
Why? Is whatever is happening to you about to be discussed, or is that a conversation that we should have, you and I? Like your disconnection from the Shadow Realm.
I mean, it's a complicated issue, and this is when Kess kind of breaks in. Yes, we're going to talk about that. It's one of the reasons I called you all here. Yes, but it's so much more fun if I get to introduce it the way that I want to, Cass. Actually, Arel, I'm thinking that, we should probably all just have the conversation together, because as much as I really do enjoy it when you have your kind of indirect ways of getting to conversations, this is a really big deal, and I think everyone should kind of be brought together. Is it bad that Aruna is the voice of reason for us now? Is this a normal thing that you guys are all doing? Maybe I am a lot more out of the loop than I remember. So Kess kind of quiets people down. So, the reason that I wanted you all to come here, how do I say this?
With your mouth.
Directly.
Yeah, with your mouth is pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
And Arel winks at I know.
I'm just shocked that came out of Mato's mouth. I'm just
And
sitting
Aruna
here
goes,
like,
you know, Kess,
bro.
they do have a really good point. Like, using your words tends to be, yes, Aruna, I get it.
I'm sorry, it was right there. I got to swing.
The Tears Core.
Arel was like,
She raised her hand, and Zulta just slowly lowers it. The Tears Core has grown, let's say. And because of that,
It's no longer in your control.
you catch on quickly. I wasn't exactly going to phrase it in that way, but I mean, it's a pretty apt description. I mean, it's still my Tears Core. I mean, I'm still at the head for now, but I mean, as you guys saw, I can't take care of everything. I am not a military leader. I never has been. I enjoy learning. I enjoy discovery and invention and creating new things, and that's what the Tears Core was. It was exploration and learning, and now, I mean, we've had representatives from every major kingdom coming and asking for help and protection, and I just can't do it on my own. And so I've brought more people on that have experiences that I don't, and
They're pushing you out.
well, you saw what happened. And what's going on right now, I can't trust that the right people will take the right steps. But I know you all will. So that's why you're here. It's a rather complicated thing. Well, see, what happened was, and as Kess is about to explain, Arel goes, my shadow powers have been drained. I was
That is correct.
going to get to that, but there's a lot more context. Kess, and she kind of she stands up, and you can see she is visibly weak, like she's kind of struggling to walk a little bit, and so she gets up. Aruna almost immediately kind of comes to her side and kind of props her up with his arm. I'm okay. It's just very different. It's been a long time since I haven't been able to use shadows for a lot of different things, and I will be perfectly fine. I think. Again, this is new.
how did this happen?
Well, and then Kess interrupts, that's my fault. No, Kess, I made my decisions, and then Kess kind of cuts her off again. Can I just, for once, take responsibility for the thing that I did? As you guys started discovering more threats to his place, I realized that the Tears Core was reacting, not anticipating. And in order to anticipate, we needed more information. So, I reached out to the people that I trust the most. And Arel's eyes get real bright. You trust me? Anyway, I've been asking the rest of us to look into the various things. And Arel, after her dealing with the Yiga clan and their experiments into shadow manipulation, I figured Arel was the best person to try and figure out what was going on. And things went poorly. And then Arel chimes in, I think I can take over from here. So I had infiltrated, masterfully, I must say. I had infiltrated the Yiga clan. I've got to say, as much as I disagree with a lot of their ideals, the outfit looked amazing on me. I was able to get in close. Some situations very close. Anyway, with some of the...
All of that cut out, but I know what she said.
With all of the... with a few of the higher echelons. And I eventually was able to get a meeting with their new leader, whom apparently we've met before, and we didn't realize it. And, well, anyway, he's not quite as dumb as I thought he was. And he instantly realized that I wasn't just a Yiga clan member. He somehow could sense my shadow affinity. And I was captured, and, well, without getting into too many gory details, interesting things happened. Some of them fun, significantly more of them less so. And at the end, he did something indescribable. He somehow figured out how to drain all of my shadow powers away. And then he shadow stepped in front of me, something he hadn't been able to do before, and then I watched him shift to the plane of shadows, and then I passed out. At this point, Pierre perks up. Yes, and at that point is when I was called in. I still have a few connections to my former life, and we were able to get a team together, and we got her back. Pretty successfully, I should add. And then Kess just chimes in again. And that's all we know for right now. We've been trying different things. I brought her back here, thinking maybe interacting with the device might help. Arel chimes in. I tried using my stabby bits. They didn't... I mean, they still stabby bit pretty well. But that's about it. Zulta chimes in. I tried a lot of different things. I mean, we're not exactly the same, but, like, my life draining, her shadow magic, they're both kind of darkish. I figured I would try, and I think it went well. It hurt immensely. Well, yes, of course that's what happened, but sometimes pain is good. Like, I mean, I think people really...
And it did go well. For most of it. I should do it again.
It's fine.
So Kess kind of tries to get everybody back. The point being, when you told us about everything that we almost lost Jax there.
No, I forgot this chair rocks back and I didn't lock it.
Oh, wow,
You
and
guys-
now we pay attention. A couple years ago, I fell out of a chair and no one said shit. And
A
it's
couple of years
clipped.
ago?
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
clip of it.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm gonna go find
That
it.
was out of respect for you, really.
You,
No, you don't have to.
You
Okay.
were holding a grudge there, weren't you? You just brought that
I'm a
up
little,
and-
I'm a little bitter because I literally there's a clip of me from Realms of the Wild where I straight up I fall out of my chair, and no one says a word.
It
and I'm
was
like,
so smooth, though. It looked like it was intentional.
Nobody else remembers this, but on December 7th, 2018, I was.
I
At
was
10:58
brutally attacked by my chair.
by the floor.
So,
it was a fight that I lost.
Was your
Kess
chair
kind of
reminding
quiets
you that
every.
your character could fly? Sorry.
Thank you, Lex. Kess kind of quiets everybody down and goes, so, after you talked about what you guys saw in the Minish realm and him stealing the powers of, what was her name? Vati? It sounded similar. And I mean, this is dangerous. And she turns specifically to Soraya. For you personally, I mean, look what happened to Arel. I don't think I can ask you to risk yourself like that. Not when this can happen.
And that's probably a good thing. You don't have to ask because we're going to do it anyway, even if you told us not to, right?
Yeah.
Am I reading the room there? I mean, I feel like I
Maybe-
know you all pretty well at this point.
Yeah, you do get like reserved and quiet sometimes, which is very out of character. Other than that,
Damn.
I have a lot of notes to take. You would be horrified to know the things I have written down about you.
I'm wait. Okay, I'm going to ignore that for a second. And
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
yeah, no, it's,
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Don't be
Thankfully-
suspicious. Don't be
Zaraya, you have other like non-shadow powers now that you can use.
Yes, but I believe the concern is being able to take any power.
Any power?
Specifically well, I mean, I don't know. Perhaps
Oh, I see
right
what
now I'm
happened, Lex.
nature, but
What?
I was talking about murder. You fell
Moira?
out of your chair.
Yeah.
He was
We were
so
so
shocked.
enwrapped. We were so enwrapped in the murder.
In the mud.
I was
that you don't
concerned
notice
not
the
enough
fish
people
falling
knew
out of a
about
chair.
the fragility of the back of the neck when I was about to say something else. So,
And then
I
I fell out
apologize
of a
that we
chair, and I repeat, no one noticed.
look, in Shax's point, it does look intentional. It doesn't look like you. It doesn't look like you fell out of the chair. It looks like you did like
Okay.
a hero. No, you look like you do a superhero landing out of your chair.
It was.
doesn't
I
look like
can
fall.
tell you, it
There's
was
no-
not. But also, if it was intentional, I would have made so much more noise.
There's no flailing. You just are like gone, and you hear a boom, and I just imagine you go like down like this, and you're like full on.
or it looked
No.
like you were like
Superhero.
trying to catch something that was like
No.
falling
Yeah.
off your desk, just like, oh, I got that.
Definitely not. But
So
okay.
anyway-
I appreciate we now have that content. I'm so sorry. I watched it, and I was like, oh, I see why that happens.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to this.
So sorry. So sorry.
No, I mean it's a I can't remember if Body if his powers were Shadow too. As if they were, that makes sense. But if they were, just regular sorcerer powers or something, then yeah, I guess it would be a cause for concern. Because I got plenty of.
Vadi was known as a shadow mage, so
Okay, we remember that.
yes,
Okay.
I believe Body was a lady.
In that case, I say,
yes.
well, Vadi did have shadow powers too. So maybe we only need to worry about shadow power draining because.
Oh, like your shadow fire.
No, yeah, I was thinking about that. It's
Wait a
it's
minute.
kind of
Shadow
it's kind of mentally
fires?
blocked right now, but it's
Slightly-
probably still in me.
More connected to the body instinct.
Well, and
Although when we did face him briefly, and I did use that on him, he did not like it. It looked like it, at the very least, annoyed him. At the best, hurt him. So
well, But you got the Shadowfire here in Hyrule.
Yeah,
Not the
from
Lineage, the
from
Yiga clan.
when we were in the Yiga hideout, which he's like there in the is the king of, right? So
Vardy? No,
no,
Vardy
no,
was...
no, this guy, whoever he is.
Ah, yes. So whatever artifacts that was.
God, I'm trying to remember the circumstances around how I got these specifically. I remember it was trying to heal you.
It was trying to prevent me from getting an artifact that was across the room. A Sheikah artifact that the Yiga were.
Right,
Controlling.
what's the secret stone?
Yeah.
But you didn't touch it, did you?
No, I was going to.
I'm gonna
Oh, there
touch
was
it.
like this aura around it or something, right?
Yeah. There was.
Yeah, there was backlash.
Yeah, there's an aura, and if I remember correctly, you tried to kind of combine your powers with Zariah's to kind of help get out faster, and you rolled poorly. And so the consequence was your fire got kind of tainted with shadow.
Okay.
Ooh. I love that you rolled poorly and basically had your peanut butter got in my chocolate. Your chocolate got in my peanut butter, Melvin.
Love chocolate.
Thus ruining them both.
We're making them.
Wait, hey.
No, I agree with you though.
Really? I love chocolate and peanut butter.
Don't
Wait,
bring
let's
actual
conversation
chocolate and
real
peanut
quick.
butter into this.
So
They did
anyway,
nothing wrong.
Wait,
Kes-
let me cook.
This is a conversation we're happening in game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Pierre chimes in and goes, "Oh, great! So we can annoy this creature that has learned how to drain shadow powers. That definitely will help us out here."
I don't think you are fully appreciating what annoyance can do to a person. Trust
Yeah,
me, I
I'm really good at that.
people really well.
I mean, honestly, Pierre, you seem like annoyed right now, and it's having an effect. So,
Well, and Kess chimes in again. The fact of the matter is, when Arel first started using her powers, she could teleport. And then she eventually got the ability to turn into a shadow and control people. The fact that he can't steal other people's powers now doesn't mean he won't learn how to.
no, yeah, I get what y'all are saying. He's a massive threat, and we don't know what his motives are yet, unless you guys do.
So, if he has your shadow powers, I should be able to sense him in the shadow realm. No?
And Arel kind of chimes in. I might avoid doing that.
Yeah, he could lock in on you.
Well,
I
no,
tried
I'm not
it.
saying.
I tried it once, and I mean, size is not everything, but he's big and a bit overwhelming, let's say. Yes, I know.
How did you try to sense him in the Shadow Realm when your powers had been drained and once he could enter the Shadow Realm, you no longer could do anything with Shadow?
Well, see, even if you can't enter the Shadow Realm, anyone that interacts with shadows is connected to it in some way.
Except she couldn't find where you were once you were drowned, once you were drained. So this seems like sorry, this seems like an inconsistency I'm realizing might not be intentional.
No, she couldn't. Arel's no longer connected to the Shadow Realm. The basics of it is anyone that uses shadow powers is somewhat connected to the Shadow Realm.
So it's likely that she tried to phase into the shadow realm, and she couldn't, and so she tried to access it via
Okay.
alternative means.
Mhm.
And
So
realized
the
that
Try
before
to touch my shadow after hearing that explanation.
yeah.
before when she's talking about having sensed him in the Shadow Realm, this was before she infiltrated the Yiga clan. She kind of reached out to, not specifically, and she will explain this better than pretend Arel is explaining this in her Arel fashion. Before actually infiltrating the Yiga clan, she reached out and she had noticed that this new entity was connected to the Shadow Realm. She tried to connect to it in a similar way that she does to Zariah, and it overwhelmed her completely. And that was when she
Yeah.
kind of realized, hey, maybe I need to try and infiltrate in more physical means as opposed to using my shadow powers. So does
So-
that get rid of the contradiction that you sensed? Does that make sense, Kiri? Like what
Yeah.
isn't making sense?
I can suspend my brain. It's just goofy. That's all right.
Okay.
The secret stone, since that
Yes.
was connected to the Shadow Realm, could Aunt Terrell connect to that previously? Did she know about it? Like,
I mean, she was there when you guys. She was investigating the secret stone when you guys were infiltrating that Iga clan hut, so she was aware of it.
right?
Um,
Aunt
She-
Terrell, were you tracking at all? Were you able to? Sorry. So my question was she able to see it or like identify its location in the Shadow Realm, or was that something that she was physically like exploring?
Again, to make things faster. Not that I don't love trying to imitate Shax pretending to be a different person, but effectively trying to connect with the stone was like trying to look at the sun. It was this massive kind of nexus of shadow energies that she wasn't
Right.
even able to really track, just because any time she would focus on it, it would kind of overwhelm her. And now this shadow being has effectively the same effect.
Right. So the question was because yes, you can look at the sun and it'll burn your eyes and but you still know where the but you still know where the sun is without
Absolutely.
looking at it. So it was more of was she able to like track
So,
peripherally or however else
using
if there was any movement of it.
using the same metaphor, you know the rough direction that the sun is, but you can't, if you're not looking at it, you can't actually pinpoint where it is in space. You just know it's roughly there. And that's kind of like, it's such a huge concentration of shadow power that if you are in the shadow realm, it's effectively the sun. You know, you can kind of recognize roughly where it is. But as far as being able to find it specifically, it's a little bit too powerful to do that.
Right. So sorry, where I was going with that was if she had noticed any shifting in its location over this whole duration. Or any changes in it.
Good question. Shortly after you guys returned from the Minish realm is when it effectively started moving, and she assumes that's when, or no, sorry, shortly before you guys went to the Minish realm is when it started moving.
Okay.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago did so we were gone from the Minish realm from Hyrule in the Minish realm for how long?
It's a fantastic question.
We got like 6 months or something.
Can,
I didn't
number of
think it was
months
that
Hyrule
long. I thought it was
time.
like 3 months.
Because when we got back, that's when the tier core had been buffed up and the Secor model was.
Yeah, I believe
Right.
you guys were
Well,
there
it's half a
for
year.
it was either a month or like a month and a half. So it wasn't
Okay.
as long as you guys were gone for Etsukuri Mala, but
Yeah. That's right, we were gone for longer than that to Carmel.
somewhere between like 4 to 8 weeks.
All right. Well, given that this guy can apparently go into tears somehow with us, or not with us, but as well, we will try. We will try our best to get more information about him if we encounter him in some way, shape, or form, or see evidence of his presence in those tiers. Because I know you guys can't do that.
Sorry, I do have another question. How long ago did the Etukori Mullins start attacking? How long has it been?
If I remember correctly, it was while you guys were in the Minish Tiers when the first quote unquote attack happened.
Okay.
And you guys have only been back for less than a week.
And right prior to us going to the Minish Tiers when the Yiga clan had attacked the base.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, timeline.
Mhm.
Working.
I
Which
guess
was
we-
how long after Ontario we went on that exploration?
Maybe a week or so. Maybe a little bit longer.
Before or after?
You guys went looking for Arel before you guys were. Oh wait. Trying to remember. Did you?
I think it was before Minish.
Well, it was before Minish. I'm trying to remember. Did you guys go searching for Arel after the attack? Yeah, it was because Arel was following some of the Yiga clan members that fled. So the Yiga clan attack happened first. Arel went looking for them. You guys followed Arel to the base, and then after that, you went to the Minish realm. So
But was Arel aware of the sunspot prior to following the base, or only after she encountered it?
only after she encountered it at the base.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I like that we're calling him the sunspot.
Yes.
It works.
Where was Ontario when the attack happened?
She'd been captured at that point.
No, because she followed it.
Oh, the Yiga clan attack. I'm sorry.
Yes.
She'd already been. I mean, Arel's always been investigating various things, and she, when the attack was happening, Kess called for help, and so she helped out. She got near. She got to. Actually, she would have been probably one of the first people that arrived, because shadows, and so she helped kind of deal with the attackers, and then very quickly realized that people were going off and decided that her skills were better used instead of defending the base by tracking. So
Did it look at all like she was the target for any of these attacks? Or was it just the base?
the Yiga clan specifically was trying to get the crystal.
Okay.
And Kess's mother was apparently there to find her, but the rest of the Yiga clan was there for the crystal.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other good questions?
Nope. Got it.
So, Kess trying to kind of keep everyone on task. I have to keep running the Tears Core, because if I leave, I think a lot worse things are going to happen. But
Yeah, your guy is a little off the.
well, and I'm working on that. Lottie and I are coming up with contingencies, but to be blunt, the troops respect him. Like, the reason that I chose him was he was a captain in the Hylian Royal Guard. He inspires his troops. They're very, very loyal to
Oh,
him.
yeah.
He
No,
got
I
half
get
of
it.
our guards.
I get it.
Yes,
as
I
long
know.
as, you know.
I completely understand that. But as someone who has read a lot about what is the word? Goose. For instance, there are many leaders of various kingdoms who are not, how you say, military experts, uh, but still their generals did not, in fact, keep secrets from them. So maybe not good time to excuse what would, under other circumstances, be referred to as treason. Yeah,
I'm not excusing it as much as I
I'm
made it.
comfortable with the implications.
I made a quick decision, not a smart decision. I normally don't do that. I normally overthink everything. I plan everything. I analyze everything. But there is so much happening so fast, and I had tried making smart decisions, and they were coming too late, and bad things were happening, and so
Why
I made the
wasn't
wrong
Murder-
choice.
Why wasn't Murder Mama put in charge of the pain unit?
The pain unit.
I don't like the way you said that.
Zulta
I love it.
Zulta chimes in. I wasn't asked, and I don't think I want to. Don't get me wrong, ruling's kind of my thing, but I mean, there's a lot of paperwork, and as much as you may call it the pain unit, surprisingly, not as much ability to inflict pain as even current me is used to.
I feel like you do a much better job at controlling everyone, especially if we call all of the soldiers waiters.
I made a choice because he came with troops, and I'm sure Zulta, and she kind of turns, Zulta, I'm sure you would have done a wonderful job, but you don't have a standing army. He did. And again, I talked to a lot of different people. They respected him. I got glowing recommendations. No one mentioned that he was a
Megalomaniac.
Thank you. This is so new. Like, I saved the world with these guys, and it was significantly less complicated than running this organization. Like, I would go back to saving the world 7 times a week over trying to figure out how running this thing works. It's complicated.
Fair enough.
Aruna moves forward. One thing I will say, Kes, I think you've done a lot of good things, while you've also made some pretty massive mistakes. But
Oh, and Aruna's calling you out. You in trouble.
Damn.
But-
Not even a call out to him.
he's just like, that's how it works. But one thing that I have noticed is the scientists and the early members of the group, I think, would defer to you over this new military guy. So I think you have your supporters. They're just not as good at hurting people.
Questionable.
Well, intentionally.
Questionable.
But I think, a lot of these scientist people are very smart, and I think you guys have really been undervaluing my contributions. Like, I can have probably a few 100 dozen bombs at your doorstep in, well, let's think. When I think about like shipping costs and everything like that, I could probably have them there in a week if you guys need something to just kind of oomph your destructive capabilities. And I can shape charges. I can get ones that do fire. I'm experimenting with ones that make it colder. They've mostly worked for the most part. I've got some electric ones after working with you, Kes. I came up with a really cool kind of like shocky bomb that was really
Is
effective.
anyone else just fascinated by this man?
And Kes goes, okay, Aruna, if we need bombs, we will ask you.
Uncle Runa, I love some bombs, especially the shocky ones.
oh, okay. And he just starts like, he pulls out his bomb bag. He's like, they're not like, there's not a ton of them, but here's a shocky hand bomb, and here's a cold hand bomb.
Putting this in inventory.
Yeah. And, you know, here's just a couple hand bombs, because you never know when you're going to need them.
This is true. I
Does
found
anyone
a
else
riot
want some hand bombs?
explosive.
Yes, please.
I still have the one you gave me. And
I've
Okay.
used mine.
It's right here, but how are we going to carry all those bombs?
We've got Mado, who, I'm sorry, Lex, we turned into a pack horse.
Sure,
That's
sure,
fine,
but
I
if
got a
he's
big
walking
bag.
and falls over,
Precisely.
he's just going to explode
Look.
and detonate.
Well, I mean, look, I trust Aruna implicitly.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah,
reason to
that's
distrust him
last
either, but bombs are
words.
bombs. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I assume that he knows what he's doing. Like, that I don't just detonate out of random.
Yeah, I mean, these are all, like, they all have wicks, and if you don't light the wick, they're, I mean, mostly safe.
All right, so I have
Mostly's good enough for me.
I have this specific container. I need you to keep the bombs away from this in your bag because it's highly. Oh, by the way, you're carrying a lot of my experimentation materials.
That's fine. I'm also building something for Dilly as well. It's okay.
Oh, Mado, what you signed yourself up for?
Hey, we help each other. I got an entire workbench lab place. We can do that's totally fine. I'm used to bringing things. Remember, I would go travel places with a bunch of shields for field testing.
Right.
I'm used to it. It's good.
Anyway, and Kess
Sorry.
chimes in again. Anyway, to kind of bring us back to the topic, I have to continue doing what I can at the Tears Court. Maybe with enough help, we can bring it back to what it's supposed to be, which is, you know, a place for learning and discovery, and not for taking over the world. But you guys can't just disappear. They'll figure out something's wrong, so I need you all to put on a good face.
Well, we'll only disappear whenever we're supposed to.
Well, I mean, yes, but
No, we're still in it. No,
the
no,
captain
you don't have
needs to
worry about us.
think, for right now, he needs to think that he's in control.
No problem here. And I look at Zaraya without blinking.
Yeah.
she takes out her like little note to self notebook. Stay away from Captain to allow him the what's it called? Illusion that he has power. Check.
Are we still are we going to be able to sneak in and see Crystal finally? Or
Oh, we've already.
You guys
done.
already were able to do
oh,
that.
you did? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, that was not.
Sorry, missed that part in my recap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a
Soraya
scene.
shamed him into.
There was a scene where Kess went, "What did you call my daughter?"
Oh, okay, brilliant, love it.
And then
Yep, so
said,
then we got
"Guess
that
what?
power."
Anytime my daughter says something, it's me saying it. So you listen to everything that she says."
And any
Which
of
was
these guys
probably
as
a
well.
mistake, but
Yes, definitely. But we
So
all
she
say
had-
things
and that's-
when we're irritated that we don't always mean.
That's why she's having this
But we know
conversation
better
of,
when
yeah,
we're
I
not.
understand that technically I just gave you guys authority over him. He needs to think that you're not going to use that authority, or that it's been rescinded in some casual way. He needs to think that he's in control.
Got it.
And
What did we learn from getting to see the crystal?
Specifically that it's the crystal in the Tears Core is completely different than the crystals that are in each one of the tiers.
So it's not alive?
Not to get it's an actual crystal.
It's more crystal-like instead of containing some sort of presence
Yeah.
or energy.
Okay, thank you.
And so because of that, you can do things like you can mine it and you can take shards off it. That's where you got your tier walking gems.
so successful experimentation from
Yeah.
failures.
Love that.
Yes, this is slightly out of left field, but whenever you were experimenting on the crystal, did you happen to check if as you were doing things to the crystal itself, it affected any of the teardrops in the sky?
We did very early on, and there wasn't a causal relationship between the things that we did to the crystal and any of the tears in the sky. But there is some sort of connection between them.
Sounded like
So
a however pause.
So effectively, us modifying the crystal did not affect them, but as they grew and changed, it did affect the crystal. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it does. Did anything happen to the crystal when that tear went dark? Or has it always been dark? I forget.
It went dark recently, and to be perfectly honest, at that point, there were so many things going on, I haven't been able to check
Okay.
in. I don't think we were examining the crystal at that particular time.
No, yeah, totally fine. All right, well,
And now enough other things have changed that if there are already changes, we won't technically be able to link them specifically to the tear going dark.
sure, yeah, unless it happens again.
Yeah.
So started being captivate chronologically.
I think, I think we might have mentioned this already, but we're gearing up to get more information by going to that dark tier next. We did want to talk through and settle all this stuff first, though. Is there anything you think else we can do now aside from classic information gathering about this giant shadowy beast guy threat?
Be
'Cause
careful.
he's not making any bold moves aside from stealing Aurel's powers, but he's clearly a threat. And then we also have Etsu Kormalans here who are making moves. So
Aurel chimes in, be friendly, make friends, make good friends.
I mean, we made friends and, well, friend-like relationships in one of the tiers and friends in the other tier.
Well, I can tell you right now, the Yiga clan is not a monolith. There are people involved that are not 100% gung-ho with Shadow Dude.
Everyone knows that word.
What word did I use?
It's been 10
Monolith?
years.
Monolith?
It's been 10 years.
Monolith?
Her
Really?
vocabulary
That's
has
the
improved.
that's the one that you were confused on?
It probably has been around Kess for too long. There
Yeah.
you go.
That's fair.
She heard Kess use that once, talking about how the Tears Core is not a monolith, and now she just will randomly insert it. Sometimes, like in this case, she's using the term correctly. Other times, it'll be like, yeah, Hyrule is not a monolith. It's like you keep using that word. I don't think it means.
You
what
mean
it
what you
means.
think it means.
She goes, there are people inside the Yiga clan that are not super pleased with Ugly Shadow Dude. If you can, maybe the same thing's true about the Etsukori Malans, and you'd be surprised what people say when, let's say,
You're in bed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do it. No, she did it.
Okay.
And Kess, as Aurel is talking about that, and Kess like, but you really don't have, there are other ways to gather information than getting into bed with you. Zariah,
No, yeah, there's a couch, there's the field, there's...
she just gets really close to Zariah. Zariah, you do not have to follow everything that your aunt tells you.
I know, Mom, we've had this conversation.
Yes,
But
but
Aunt Terrell and I, and then you and
Multiple
I.
times
Don't
we've
worry.
had this conversation.
yes, but
I
now
know
and
what
she
to do if I
she-
find myself in that situation.
and she kind of puts her arm around you and starts moving you slightly away from Adesh. Yes, but I'm starting to see similarities with one of your companions and Aurel's mindset, and I know.
That's why we get along so well. I know how to manage him.
Sometimes I forget how smart you are, and then she goes back.
There's a brief moment when Aino is just kind of squinting slightly at Adesh after the word field and like, you're weirdly shy about being naked for someone who's done anything with you.
How I'm around, so private.
It's my private field.
Not my no. Listen, whoever said that.
Let's say, let's say that was Pierre. Sounds like a Pierre thing to say.
Totally.
I love this. I love you guys. I've missed you so much.
Same.
That's all.
All right. So just I guess information gathering right now for what are we naming this guy? Does he have a name?
He's Shadow Dude.
Shadow Dude. All right. Well,
Yeah, that is his name.
I think
Clan leader.
he, Arel chimes in. He prefers the name Lord of Shadows,
Yes, I
but
don't care what he
Oh,
prefers.
so we're not going to call him that because I refuse to respect
I
the man.
definitely like Shadow
who-
Dude better.
Yep.
I kind of like Shadow Prick.
Ooh, I
Maybe
like
we
that.
do like Shadow
Right.
Lard because it's like a
This
spin-off
could be
of
part-
Lord.
Oh, I like that too. This could be part of our annoy him to death campaign.
Yeah. We'll like annoy him with these words, and then he'll just want to like lash out. But then I'll like shadow burn him. By the way, my shadow fire doesn't work right now. I got to figure that out. But once it does, oh, you know, it actually stopped working when I attacked him. Got to figure that out too. You know, we can just we can figure that out. And if we can figure out, well, yeah, there's a lot to consider.
A
here.
lot to figure out.
Also, something that we've noticed and that probably should inform our choosing to go into tiers a little more often is that we do seem to just multiply our abilities with each tier we go into. Not multiply, add.
Seem to obtain more abilities.
And some of them might be more advantageous for, say, defending against or fighting this guy than others, so who knows?
well, I think it would be in your best interest then to continue going to more tiers. I mean, the more powers you guys can gather, the more likely you'll be able to deal with this shadow punk guy and
Oh, Punk. Mom, you're so nice.
Shadowpunk sounds like great music. Listen to.
Right? It sounds like a band.
anyway, I personally have been looking into your ability to change your powers. I know right now it takes a significant amount of time and effort, but on my own time, away from the Tears Core's eyes, I'm
Ooh.
trying to develop methods that can make it faster. I think giving you all the ability to switch powers as often as you need can be nothing but a benefit, especially if you go to this dark tier and if you all get some flavor of shadow powers, the ability to turn out of them if you're facing this Shadow Lord might be beneficial. Who knows?
Shadow Dude. Do not call him Lord.
Shadow Lard.
Lard.
The pain in the ass that uses
Lord.
shadows.
Mhm.
That's a nice prestigious title.
I do like that, Mom. Didn't expect that of you.
Anyway, as much as it's very, very late, every so often I do get interrupted and asked to deal with things in the middle of the night. The longer I'm away from the Tears Core, the more likely it is for someone to notice. So, I'm going to head back. She
I will
goes,
say, just so you know, as we've been obtaining more powers and additional power from the Minish Realm, we are able to switch faster already.
well, then maybe the solution is just keep giving you more powers. I don't know, but I think the limitations that you guys have now are too limiting for you. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to remove those limitations.
We appreciate your devotion to that.
Okay. And she kind of goes over and goes to Zulta, and they kind of stare at each other for a little bit, and they embrace. And as she kind of moves away,
Psychically?
Yes.
I know you want to be there, but I need you keeping doing what you're doing, okay? And Zulta just goes, I think you vastly underestimate how good I am at dealing with people. No, I think you're great at dealing with servants. I'm just saying, if I was there, none of this would be going on. And to shut her up, she kisses her and then goes, I know. All right, I'm heading back. Be safe. Please. Enough bad things have happened because of my decisions.
Stop blaming yourself, Mom.
She comes over, she gives Zariah a big hug. And then heads out. So, are we all supposed to just, like, time our leaving? Like, when Narelle and I first started getting together, like, we had to kind of plan, like, she would go first, and then I would go after, so that people wouldn't know that we were together? Or, like, what are we supposed to do now?
I think we just leave.
Okay. And he
I
rolls
think
off.
no, I think we have to just let each other know when we're leaving. That way we know that they're not being kidnapped or something worse.
Oh, well, I have some connections. Actually, Mato, you and I should talk sometime, because I've been kind of developing this, like, merchants guild to kind of stimulate inter-kingdom
I'm listening.
commerce and other things like that. And so, with Shields Up being as big as it is, well, as big as it used to be now, with it being, you know...
Yeah. But, well, I mean, I think we could still make it, like, big, and it was still pretty popular, but, like, having a guild that we can then expand out and franchise...
Well, more
you
of just,
know-
like, not so much as all merchants, like, being part of the same group, but just, like, rules for inter-kingdom commerce and how different merchants can work together. I'm thinking, you know, if, you know, when the stuff hits the fan, as we all know is going to happen, having merchants, a large collection of merchants of different, you know, supplies, I think would be very beneficial. So
I'm into it, yeah.
If you have any connections with any local merchant groups or larger merchant groups, if you can just send them my way. I'm going to be traveling around. I think Tabantha is my next location that I'm going to be kind of talking to various merchants. If you just want to send them my way.
Yeah, you know, I think I might know a guy. There was a guy who I worked with a while ago that does have you ever heard of Chic?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know Chic Cheeks.
Yeah, I know a guy who works with them, I think, as of the last time I remember talking to him. Oof, it's been a while. He's like the only guy I kind of know that, like, currently, because we were talking a lot, and then I started with the Tears Corps, and so you know, there hasn't been a lot of communication, but he might be good to talk to.
Okay.
But
I'll keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely down. That sounds like a good plan.
All right. Well, everybody, try not to die. I know sometimes it's harder than other times, but it's generally a good rule of thumb to focus on.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you.
And he leaves. Pierre kind of looks at you and goes, yeah, I should probably get out of here too. I'm supposed to be doing recon. Sometimes I forget that I can fly, and that just makes everything so much easier.
I know, I try to remind you all the time.
Well, have fun, everyone. Pierre leaves. Zulta comes over to Zariah. Now, just as a reminder, if anyone at all annoys you, it's
70
literally...
under, not 6. And put
Yes.
an animal corpse on top. Remember.
Absolutely.
Got it.
And remember, If you leave a mound, they're easy to find. If you leave the ground flat, they're much more difficult to locate.
Right, right.
And if there's no body, there's no crime. Have fun, honey. She gives you a kiss on the cheek and walks out.
I love my mothers.
So, what are the rest of you guys? Arel is just sitting there, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna chill here for a little bit. I'll leave a little later. Being here feels comforting, let's say.
Are you staying with Uncle Soren?
I'm kind of avoiding people that I don't want to die. I'm living on my
Hanging
own.
out with us.
Well, we're doing that secretly. Uncle Soren, we haven't spoken in a few months.
Gotcha.
Anyway, be safe, everybody. And she kind of goes back to where the altar was and just kind of sits down next to it. Unfortunately, though, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of this, we do have all the episodes available right here, twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV. As Elias mentioned previously, Zelda Universe is looking for more volunteers with just about every aspect of the stuff that Zelda Universe does. So you can head over to zeldauniverse.net and see things there. You can find Zelda Universe on Twitter and contact them and tweet at them there. There's a lot of different ways that you can get in contact with Zelda Universe. And as one final reminder, I'm going to go ahead and put the link for the Red Cross wildfire relief. There are a lot of different ways that you can help out with this disaster. Monetarily is one of them, if you have that. Also, things like donating blood, donating plasma, volunteering if you can be around the area. There are a ton of people that are doing everything from helping cook food, helping serve food, moving things from places to places, because not everyone is located in one central place. So if you can help out, please do. And if you can't, that's okay too. Not everybody can help out with every single situation. However, it's going to be all for us today, and I will see you all next time. All right? Bye-bye.